Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Harry Muppet, and welcome to another Daily Masters cast. Yes, and we are going to be going back into DreamHack Valencia, round of 32, because there's so many awesome games in there. And of course, you can't cast them all as part of a tournament play, but you can cast them as part of the Daily Masters. So down the bottom right side of the map, we do have our red Terran player. He is going to be MarineLorD. Yes, and up the top left side of the map, it is going to be our blue Zerg player. And it is going to be Jaedong. Jaedong, of course, everybody knows who Jaedong is, and if you don't, watch some of my replays with Jaedong in them, because yes, they are freaking awesome. And he is one of the few Zergs who can really can make it up to the grand finals and really do some awesome stuff. I can't remember if he made it into the grand finals for this tournament though, but yeah, he got in there and he did some awesome stuff. And MarineLorD, I do remember Jaedong actually dropping a game in one of his round of 32, so it may have been this one. It may just have been this one. I really can't remember, but we will be checking it out. And yeah, MarineLorD, I don't know much about MarineLorD. In fact, I will be completely honest, I don't know anything about MarineLorD. I do know that he is awesome though, because of course to be in any DreamHack tournament, you really do have to be awesome. And yeah, so there we go. I'll just do a bit of a Google search on MarineLorD, and yeah, well, actually, I'm interested now. So we'll see if we can pull up some information about him. And yes, all right. So he's a French player, and he plays in the Against All Authority team. So that's yeah, that sounds like a pretty awesome clan. And yeah, really nice. Wow, he's actually let me think. He's actually 18 years old, so that's pretty awesome there. Going up at the very top level, duking it out with guys like Jaedong, and perhaps even beating them, but we'll have to see how this game goes and what he does. He is getting a Reaper out right at the start, so he's just going to tap Jaedong on the head a few times, just to say hi, and probably going to annoy him quite a bit. But with double queens coming out any second, there we go. So queens are not going to come out quite when the Reaper gets there, but they are going to come out very soon after. And the 4 lings coming out straight away will be able to hold this Reaper off from really doing a ton of damage. Actually, he's got the workers from the main base down on the second. That's interesting. I wonder why he's got that happening. Yeah, very interesting. Because usually I don't know. Usually I just I just keep the rally point there, and then as soon as the second bases come up, I just take like 10 or 12 workers and just move them down all at once. But I guess he doesn't want 10 or 12 workers at his expansion early on in the game. He'd prefer to just have a few over there at any one time. And here we go, double Reaper, man. I have seen some players, I think it may have been Lucifron, but I can't remember. It was one Terran player, may have been Tasia. But yeah, they were actually using the Reapers, and the micro was so good that the Reapers actually got very close to killing a queen. Just 2 Reapers, just going in and out, constantly hitting the queen, and they got the queen down to like 10% life or something like that. The queen did not die, but it was so close, man. And I feel like a Zerg player who was perhaps a bit new to the game could definitely have lost a queen to double Reaper, which is a bit crazy when you think about it. But yeah, I mean, you just never know. You just never know what's going to happen in a high-level Masters game. Anything can happen. Absolutely anything. You can even conceivably have a high-level Masters game where they both build up massive armies, and then for no reason they both leave the game and it turns into a draw. So yeah, when I say anything can happen, I mean anything really can happen. Of course. Oh, look at this. Those Reapers, man. They was just doing a death push for this creep tumor. I'm not sure why he wanted to get that creep tumor down so badly. I'm not even sure how he could see that creep tumor. It must have just landed. Yeah. Oh, siege tank. MarineLorD, you continue to astound and amaze me, getting a very, very early siege tank out. I don't think he got any Hellions, any Widow Mines, anything like that. He just went straight for the siege tank, and it looks like he transitioned off one siege tank onto getting the Hellions. And meanwhile, he's getting a third base as well, so MarineLorD doing all sorts of crazy stuff in this game. But I think he's going to be alright versus the Lings. I don't know about anything else. I don't know that Jaedong cares right now. He's just macroing like a complete boss. 14 workers coming out. He knows that siege tank, and that siege tank did not make him sad. It made him very happy because he's like, all right, MarineLorD, he's got a siege tank out this early. You know what that means? It means he's not actually building anything else that he can really attack me with. So screw it. I'm getting a ton of workers, and look at this, man. 8-minute mark, 56 workers. So Jaedong just going for a massive, massive amount of tech. Sorry, not tech, workers in this early game. And the Hellions are going to come in though. And the defenses on the third base, not very high. The worker count on the third base, quite decent. So if the Hellions know there's a third base there, and if they go for it, then yeah, they could definitely do some very, very scary amounts of damage. This one queen though is keeping them away though, so not fun to be a Hellion. And yeah, man, I would just go in there and just try and see how many workers you can take out. Probably lose half your Hellions at the least, but you could roast, I don't know, 4 or 5 drones. Although the Lings are really going to put a stop to that sort of pressure. And the Hellions running for their lives because those Lings are just too fast for them. There we go, one Ling. You see that guy, man, he got roasted in mid-run. So not good to be a Ling at that point. But, oh, look at this, man. Jaedong already knows that he's going to try and put down a third. So yes, that is going to be a very big thing right there. And Jaedong, that's going to be telling him, go out there, make something happen. There is a gap, you can take advantage of it. And these Lings are not going to be able to do the job though. They're actually running over here, getting on the high ground, going to be doing some stuff. But yeah, they shouldn't be able to kill too much here, maybe 1 or 2 workers. And meanwhile, Jaedong getting his own 4th base is going to continue to tech up. He's just going to be matching the Terran's economy. And yeah, look at these Hellions, man. They see the mutas, and this is not going to be too happy for MarineLorD. He's getting out a ton of Marines right now. He's actually was building some mech related stuff, but your mech is not going to help him for quite a while. He's going to need to get a ton of Marines out very, very soon. And knocking away the guy on this, but a bunch of Marines are going to scare the mutas away. He's building a lot of mutas though. He's definitely getting a ton of mutas. And I saw a melee weapons there, level 1. So I suppose we can expect mutaling to be a major part of this game from Jaedong. And yeah, I mean, Marine Tank is already sort of set up to do Marine Tank. Marine Tank, of course, a very, very good counter to mutaling. And this is one of those just epic unit army compositions from both players. It just sort of goes completely off the chain in terms of the levels of micro that are needed to execute it. And we will see if MarineLorD does in fact go Marine Tank, or if he just stays with Triple M. In which case, if he stays with Triple M, Bailey's are going to be quite a problem for him to deal with. Quite a problem. There we go. It's got 1 missile turret, but the muta cloud is getting quite big. And oh, the workers all going in to try and repair it. And that could have been bad because the splash damage from mutas just could have done so much damage. But the Marines, luckily, were very, very close on hand. And man, what was it? It was in one of the I can't remember. I think there was an upgrade you could do for your missile turrets in the campaign, which made them do AOE damage. And man, I wish that that was in multiplayer games, because yeah, mutas would just get owned if that was in multiplayer games. It would just shred the entire lot of them. But fortunately for Jaedong, it is not in multiplayer. And look at the creep spread, man. That is just a blight all over the place, blocking this ramp, and the mutas are just going to be on the other side, just taking it down once again. this one Marine finding a way into range and then just gets wiped out by the mutas. So I don't know, man. Maybe he should have left those rocks up and just knocked them out when a bunch of lings were running in. I just don't know, but they're going to be out for good now. He's just leaving them down to the absolute lowest point. And was a siege tank attacking something? I don't know what it's attacking, but yeah. I don't think it was attacking these rocks though. That probably wouldn't have been a good idea, but alright. What do we got going on? Just everybody maxing out. Jaedong getting a ton of banelings. He's about to get 2-2 on his banelings. Mutas won't stay still, so I can click on them, but they do have 1 weapons, and they're about to get 2 weapons, sorry. Meanwhile, the infantry, so that's the wrong button, these guys have 2-2. Oh, they're just about to get 2-2. He's actually going to get 1 vehicle weapons as well. There we go. MarineLorD getting out there, doing a great job, and knocking out the creep tubers, doing a great stim when the banelings start to come out. And these mutas moving out a little bit, but they're just baiting the Marines further into the creep so the banelings can hit them. And the Marines, just trying to run, not quite getting far enough away. And the banelings did some awesome damage there. And yeah, that is going to be very, very, very bad. The banelings continuing to roll in, and these Marine numbers are just getting so screwed out here. Some Widow Mines will help a little bit. But finally, his baneling numbers have been depleted, and the mutas took quite a beating there as well, I gotta say. They were really, really on the ball, but there was just a few Marines here and a few Marines there, constantly reinforcing, and in the end there were not enough banelings, and the hits that the mutas were taking turned out just to be in vain because he didn't completely finish off the Terran player. That was his aim. I think he's just like, oh, I think I've got it, just move the mutas in. If they take a bit of damage, that's fine. But no, he had enough reinforcements, and the muta losses definitely were not good in the end. But here we go, scanning in, taking care of some more creep, because the creep is really just absolutely insane right now. Bunch of lings going to be heading these guys off. Are these banelings right there? There's banelings right over there. That is completely insane. And yeah, MarineLorD's starting to get a bit behind in this game. He's behind on the workers by about 28. Jaedong getting his 5th base up. It's just finished now. MarineLorD's still on 3. He needs to be thinking about 4. But this base, I feel like he can maybe hold this base with a bunch of missile turrets up there. But yeah, he's just the banelings getting in there, just doing so well. He's trying to fight off the creep, but he's not doing as well as he could be with the stim and run. He could be doing a little bit better with the stim and run, just a little bit better, but it would save his army just doing that little bit better. And he's doing all the right things, but the micro, he's doing a 90% good job on the micro, stimming and running. He needs to be doing 100% because otherwise these banelings will just keep hitting his army over and over again. And there we go, taking out the 4th base, but there's still a ling burrowed under there, and that is going to force MarineLorD to waste a scan to land that building down. So just there we go. There was no attempt to move the Marines away there. He's just caught completely by surprise by those banelings. And yeah, this army, man, just doing all the right things. Really, really doing a good job. MarineLorD trying to hang on, but I think it's getting to be quite one-sided in this game. Yeah. I mean, Jaedong really hasn't made a mistake so far. He's done everything right, and he's just kept the pressure on, and MarineLorD constantly having to bash off these attacks. And there we go, there's the GG. He knows he's not going to be able to land this 4th base. He knows he's not going to be able to get the income that he needs. He's 36 workers behind, and it just wasn't working, man. It just wasn't working. Jaedong he had so much room to spread out, to get a ton of bases, to mine constantly. MarineLorD wasn't putting any marine drop pressure on his outlying bases, and that's really what you need to do with a macro heavy Zerg like Jaedong. But the lings and the mutas just so fast, he just did not have a chance to move out, to really get out there. And yeah, eventually he just got overwhelmed by Jaedong's macro and by his very, very impressive baneling attacks. And I mean, a lot of it was to do with the fact that he lost so many Marines to the banelings because, like I said, he stimmed and he ran, but he wasn't really fast. He wasn't super fast. His reflexes weren't at the nanosecond level, which is what you really need to have in terms of dodging banelings. It's just so hard. You have no chance on creep. So he was doing a great job at putting the creep down, but Jaedong was doing an even better job at pushing the creep back. And he just had creep everywhere. Look at this, it's absolutely everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. And there's just nowhere left. I mean, trying to push the creep back bit by bit and staying off the creep, it just wasn't going to work. It just absolutely wasn't going to work. Because as soon as the banelings came down, he had to back off and the banelings just chased him all the way back to his base. And meanwhile, he just could push the creep out once again. So, and he didn't have any heavy support from tanks, which would have knocked the banelings out nicely. So all the Marines could do is run, and while they were running, the banelings just chased them, and the banelings didn't die, and they just had to keep running. So he was constantly on the back foot. Whenever he moved out, the banelings just chased him back home. And there we go. Congratulations to Jaedong for that beautiful win with the Muir the Ling. And yeah, this has been your daily Masters game. So thank you very much for watching. This has been Hairy Muppet. Hope you enjoyed this game.